Hi everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Day's Podcast along with a new video. I want to thank you guys so much for liking, subscribing, viewing, watching, and listening. I truly appreciate it. We will definitely have more exclusive episodes, whether it's on Patreon or Spotify. But I definitely just want to make sure that we get as much free content as possible. So today we are going to talk about The Real World, which is by Missy Elliott. Let's get into it. So which is D-A, which is, The Real World, is the second studio album by Missy Elliott. And yes, it is under her label, okay? Like it's partnered with Elektra, but, under her label, okay? Independent tees, okay? So, released on June 22nd, 1999 by East West Elektra and The Gold Mine. The album is noted for adding a raunchier and darker style to Elliott's music, as well as including the overt political use of the term bitch. The album features guest appearances from BG, Juvenile, Lil Mo, Nicole, Beyonce, Eve, and Eminem, Lady Saw, Da Brat, Aaliyah, Big Boy of Outkast, Lil Kim, MC Solar, and Redman. There's a lot of people on this project, okay? Let's get into it. Originally titled She's a Bitch, Elliott commented on the choice for the title as a positive way of expressing herself as a strong woman in power. She also stated that she felt very pressured while recording this album and explained that she was afraid of experiencing a sophomore slump. So we had talked about this, whether it was, just recently with Alicia Keys, but among other artists that we have talked about, where when it comes to the second album, they was wanting more control, a little bit more of a sense that people were understanding that they were behind everything, like every detail of the album, that nothing was unnoticed, that they would want to have the album succeed more than their debut. So Elliott dedicated the album to the victims of the Columbine High School massacre, which unfortunately had happened. It was a school shooting and a failed bombing that occurred on April 20th, 1999. This was in Colorado. I wasn't even 5 yet. So when this had happened, this was like, oh my God, for a lot. Like, I think I said this a few times with certain albums recently in my episodes, where there was a lot going on. And a lot of times, people were making albums and didn't realize, like, no, you made a stamp for yourself in this moment because all these other things are going on, and now people are going to really be able to know your name. And I keep telling people, like, your name is what really keeps you going, your name. Your music can do well, but it's your name that's attached to it to where people be like, okay, we feel you. So the singles, March 4th, 1999, She's a Bitch was sent to the local radio stations in the United States as the lead single of the album. Elliott went on to release 2 additional singles, All in My Grill and Hot Boys remix featuring Eve, Nas, and Lil Mo. So those songs you heard, like, you just, you the hot boy, yes. But yeah, She's a Bitch came out, the song released April 20th, 1999, so on 420, okay? Hey. All in My Grill, September 13th, 1999. Hot Boys remix, November 9th, 1999. Yes, The Real World received critical acclaim from music critics. Keith Farley of AllMusic declared it an excellent follow-up and added that it's clearly a Missy Elliott album in most respects, with Timbaland's previously trademarked futuristic breakbeat production smarts laced throughout. Entertainment Weekly felt that The Real World marked steps in several right directions, both of rap and for understanding the never-ending battle of the sexes. Yeah, so despite Kim being slightly, if not very, very vaguely ridiculed for just being sexy, you have Missy, where it's just like, yeah, they were coming for her weight. Yeah, they were coming for why is she, singing more than rapping. They were mean. Critics, but there were more critics that were for the music than the propaganda. But I will say, like, no, when it came to interviews, like, you know, they had to really tough it up and really let people know, like, I'm here, like, this is what I do, period. And nowadays it's definitely respected. Yeah, so let's look at the commercial success here. So The Real World debuted at number 10 on the US Billboard 200 chart, becoming Elliott's second top 10 debut and standing on the chart for a total of 39 weeks. On February 4th, 2000, the album was certified platinum by the Recording Academy for sales of over 1 million copies in the US. As of November 15th, the album has sold 1 million copies, with 68,000 more copies in the US. All songs produced by Timbaland, credits adapted from the album are on liner notes, of course. So, yes, track 1 is Mysterious, which is the intro. Track 2 is Beat Biters. Track 3 is Busta Rhyme featuring Eminem. Track 4 is On My Grill featuring Big Boy and Nicole Ray. Track 5 is Dangerous Mouse featuring Redman. Track 6 is Hot Boys. Track 7 is You Don't Know featuring Lil Mo. Track 8 is Mr. DJ featuring Lady Saw. Track 9 is Checkin' For You Interlude featuring Lil' Kim. And then track 10 is Stickin' Chickens featuring Aaliyah and Debrat. So by the time you get to track 10, you're hearing like a collective of people. Like, we are really like in a new realm of, you know, the project here. Like, you know, this is not her first album. You know, we're really synced in with a new wave, a new era, and you can hear it. Track 11, Smooth Check. Track 12, We Did It. Track 13, Throw Your Hands Up interlude featuring Lil' Kim. So Lil' Kim is on here not once but twice, okay? So if that don't tell you, you know, this my friend, this my sis, I don't know what will, because that her sis. And then 14, track 14, She's a Bitch. Track 15, You Can't Resist, featuring Juvenile and BG. And track 16, Crazy Feelings, featuring Beyonce. And track 17 is Blessings, which is the outro. So this is what I wanted to be able to convey here, because I think that there's been this whole weird controversy that I want to be able to say from just what I'm reading here and what's just common sense. The album was recorded 98 into 99. Was released June 22nd, 1999. So in the midst of this album being released, Aaliyah is possibly working on the soundtrack for Romeo Must Die, but acting as well, which is why there's clearly only one song here. And Beyonce was very much a part of Destiny's Child, and the Writings on the Wall, which I believe is the anniversary was just the other day. Let me just I just talked about this album, so I want people to understand, like, you know, yes, the anniversary was just yesterday. the July 14th. So mind you, not even within a month of this album, you have Destiny's Child releasing the Writings on the Wall. So to me, what I'm seeing here, and what's pretty much shown, is that B was already trying to break away and have a name for herself through features. And it's evident more over time. And what people don't know is, in the midst of the Romeo Must Die soundtrack, B did have a song called The Perfect Man, and that was on the soundtrack, her own song. It is labeled a Destiny's Child song, but it is cohesively a Beyonce song. And Aaliyah knew that and wanted her to be a part of that. And so I just want people to understand that, you know, when it comes to who liked who, if there was a rivalry or anything like that, let's just say this. Missy always wanted everyone to collab and be around each other and be together, even if it meant, you know, everybody's on a project together and can be able to coexist on that project. So and that's with everything when it came to Missy. And so you know, there is an interview where Beyonce is interviewing Aaliyah, and you can tell from that interview that they're completely two different people. Aaliyah is her own self, and Beyonce is her own self. But at that time, Beyonce is still with Destiny's Child, as Aaliyah is Aaliyah. So there wasn't completely a sense for anyone to think Beyonce was solely a solo artist, as opposed to featuring on songs as a solo artist, because she still was a part of a group. So I don't want anyone to misconstrue the sense of, oh, well, you know, Beyonce didn't like Aaliyah, or Aaliyah didn't feel like she needed to be around Beyonce. I will tell you this right now. If you look at that interview, she said one of the hottest girls or entertainers out here, Miss Aaliyah, how you doing? And in the midst of Beyonce saying that, Aaliyah says, "What's up, baby?" Like, Aaliyah was older than her. That's Aaliyah was older than damn near everybody. Not damn near everybody. Well, she was younger than Usher, but as far as the girls, yeah, she was older than most of the girls that were out and were her peers. So it wasn't like she, you know, looked at anyone and looked down on them or anything, but she always had a poised way of just being able to know, you're a woman just as much as I'm a woman, and we out here trying to get this money. So I don't want, again, when it comes to my podcast or when it comes to me expressing any type of artist and how they interact, I don't know these people fully, but when you look at the artistry, when you look at how they interact when it comes to interviews, or just the way that they wanted their art and their time doing certain things to matter, it makes sense. And okay, both of them liked Jay-Z. So who ended up being with who after, though? You know what I'm saying? That's where it boils down to. And if Aaliyah were to have been alive still to this day and may have not wanted to be with Damon no more, that was her choice if she was to want to do that. But she, at the time, was still committed to Damon. And with B, she may have been talking to Jay and wanted to be with Jay, probably in the midst of when The Blueprint was coming out, which was in September, which was after Aaliyah passed. So it's just, there's certain things that I just feel like when you dig into, you don't have to always be, oh, well, this is the drama of it all. Like, it wasn't always like that. I don't think that it was always like that. However, I do feel as though over time, like I was telling y'all, when it came to Missy being one to collaborate with multiple people, there was always a sense with her that she wanted people to still have a partnership in some way. So I think that's just really special to me with how she did that. Because this, to me, if you really look at it, is the only time you ever see Beyonce and Aaliyah on the same album. How often do you see a Beyonce and Aaliyah on the same album? Okay? And yeah, two different artists, two different lanes. And it's not about who was doing more or who had more at the time. It really wasn't about all that. It was really the sense of respect, the sense of wanting to achieve, really. That was really the goal when it came to all these artists, if anything. So yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much all that I have to really say when it comes to this album. I think it was a great album. It really made people understand that she is really here to stay, because there was more that she wanted to give. And she did do just that. So we will be back with more, and I thank you guys for watching.